Well, good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, May 14th. Everything is bright and shiny today, but we did have quite the storms yesterday. I hope everybody is well after that. No harm done. Before I get started reading some information, our topic is still the Swift Current Initiative Grant. And I do want you to know that it looks like the City Council will be discussing this moving forward because we've had some legislation signed by the governor in place now to work with. And that's in Bay St. Louis. The address is 598 Main Street. It starts at 5:30 on this May 14th. But if you want to speak as a citizen about this topic or any other topic that you need the city to know about, you can come as a citizen and sign up to speak and have your say that night. So anyway, it's May 14th. And then just to follow up, the other one for this month will be May 28th. They always have them the first Tuesday after the first Monday of each month. And then the following 2 weeks, they have another one. Okay. So with that being said, the first thing I want to do is kind of catch up. I wrote a letter to Governor Tate Reeves, and I'm going to read that to you. Now, to be honest, I'm going to, full disclosure, part of this is taken out because I want us to all play nice going forward and work as a team. Up until now, it's definitely felt like there was a team over here and a team over here. And I just don't want that anymore because the people of Mississippi, we need us all to work together to help all kinds of deserving families that can qualify for this grant or a similar grant going forward if we go ahead and make the blueprint now, like I said, cutting our teeth on my house and one other house, April Bird's, that is in Bay St. Louis. So let me get started. To the Honorable Governor Tate Reeves, my name is Tammy Curtis Guy and my husband is Perry Guy, and we are citizens of Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. In 2021, I began a very diligent effort to find resources and aid to raise our little home in Bay St. Louis. We are only 7.5 feet above sea level. Yikes. So you can imagine what we face every hurricane season. After our second flood, through a series of what has to be identified as divine leadings, I mean, I'm serious about that, y'all, I located the Swift Current Initiative Grant, and one day I will tell you the steps that happened that even allowed me to know about this grant. It was basically like pulling teeth, but over the next year and a half, I was able to jump through every hoop that FEMA required of us. This also included having finalized engineering plans, drafted and paid for by us, $5,000, and signed off by an official engineer of the state of Mississippi. And we also had to do a pilings resistance test behind our house, and that was pricey as well. As most grants these days, the grant requires a government entity to be the sub-applicant. That is a long story for another day, but the short version is the city of Bay St. Louis agreed to walk through this grant as they became the sub-applicant. I think that became a little bit of surprise to them, but look, this is all new territory for all of us, right? Section 66, let me back up a little bit. One of the officials of the city, and I'm blanketing that, not calling the name because I want us to all be on the same page, was adamant that they not proceed forward with signing off our award letter that I fought so hard to receive. The award letter came May of 2023, allotting us our address so much money to raise our house. This official stated that it goes against Section 66 of the Mississippi Constitution. But there's where I beg to differ. And if you go back on my second podcast, I talked about Section 66, the difference between a donation and a grant. But as we go forward, you'll see that even that's been taken care of. Section 66 refers to donations and gratuities. A grant and all of its regulations and stipulations are on the opposite end of the spectrum of what a donation is. I'm also hoping your office can work with maybe MDA or any other entity that you deem fit to set aside a pool of money in which counties and cities like Bay St. Louis can draw from in regards to this grants if they choose to stand up as a pass-through entity. I think that would alleviate a lot of fears of a city or county being stuck holding the FEMA bag. And we all know that can happen. Excuse me, folks, it's allergies. I also want to point out that FEMA just announced an additional $3 million to be allocated for 16 states. Now, right now, Mississippi is not in that loop because we didn't have an identified storm last year, but as we know, that's a huge possibility during hurricane season. So I'm hoping that then if that happens, that will be rolled into those 16 states. So that there's $300 million has been allotted for the Swift Current Initiative grant now again, and that deadline will fall in January of 2025. So you have time to get your ducks in a row, and as we go forward, I'm going to keep telling you what I had to do to make that happen. To date, Mississippi has had a 100% failure rate on this. Oh, wait, let me back up. I'm so sorry. Millions of dollars have successfully been dispersed under the same guidelines. I'm sorry, folks. Through the states of Louisiana and New Jersey. Louisiana was successfully able to distribute $38.5 million with the Swift Current Initiative grant with the same guidelines that Mississippi would have had to gone through. Okay. All right. To date, Mississippi, because we had $5 million in that first round that mine came from, and only me and April were able to even identify some of that money. I think there's one other county that their grant manager is still trying to get it going after all this time. To date, Mississippi has had a 100% failure rate on this. This was made so difficult that only me and one other woman received an award letter through this grant. And the only reason April Bird received an award is because I walked her through all the parts and requirements. Now we have monies allocated to our addresses that cannot be realized to raise our homes. I sent a binder to your office as well as 10 other officials in the state of Mississippi, alerting this information as well as requesting an AG opinion. Now, there's a scenario after that, so I'm going to skip through that because honestly, folks, at this point, if we can all work together, to me, that's history. It's just history that we all cut our teeth on, and that's fine. It is no secret that South Mississippi is staged for a great boom of influx in real estate and economic growth. Just since 2013, with the help of state and federal funding for the waterfront areas of the Jordan and Wolf Rivers, the building boom has begun. And this is in our area. The funding will help the ones already there and continue this building surge, not to mention life-changing aid for homeowners in Mississippi. How can we possibly allow those millions of dollars to go on being unrecognized? Representative Tim Ladner, has been the only state official that has been our champion and our voice. He is a true servant of the people in every sense of the word. Without him, I don't think this would have come to your attention. Governor Reeves, I have been one of your best champions, and I also voted for you, and I'm proud that I did. I believe in you as a godly man and also a servant of the people. At this point, I feel God has allowed this to be delayed so that other people can be helped with this grant. Because of that, I started a podcast YouTube channel outlining the journey this has been, the good, the bad, and the ugly, while also offering information to people of Mississippi on steps they can take to apply for this grant. I invite you to review these episodes. I'm attaching a handy-dandy QR code. Right now, there are millions of dollars that could have been had by the people of Mississippi to raise their homes out of harm's way. But now we need your voice on this as well. Please help us. Sincerely, Perry and Tammy Guy. Okay, so that was that. All right, so now that was April 24th. I sent that. Tim Ladner, let me find it, took it upon himself. Thank you, Tim Ladner, because another representative didn't even know about it, even though I sent the same information and same binder. So on April 26th, Tim Ladner drafted legislation. So I'm going to read the legislation to you. It's bill number 4129. Okay, let's see. Oh, they got it out of order. Out of order, out of order. Well, folks, I dropped something. Hold on. I guess I did. Well, I'll tell you what, you can look it up. Mississippi House Bill 4129. I mean, gracious. But I had all that. I think y'all know I'm not like influencer tech savvy. I do a whiteboard and sheets. So anyway, what I'll do is I'll read what I have on section 2. The governing authorities of the city of Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, are authorized in their discretion to administer and expend federal grant funds, specifically fiscal year 2022 flood mitigation assistance, the SWIFT Current Initiative funds, which have been awarded by FEMA, awarded past tense, by FEMA to assist in flood mitigation. Section 3, the funds as prescribed under this act shall be administered and expended by the city for the following projects that are located within the city. And then it gives our coordinates and our address, 3100 Roberson Road, moi, where my studio is behind, and 4035 Honshu Street. That's Miss April. In April, I'm not doxing you, hon, but I just have to let people know what's going on. The funds expended by the city shall be utilized solely for flood mitigation, which is in the public interest and the promotion of public safety. That is a true statement. Can we just take the word safety? That's the most important word for us and other families. Health and welfare of the citizens of the city. I'm going to repeat that. The funds expended by the city shall be utilized solely for flood mitigation, which is in the public interest and the promotion of the public safety, health, and welfare of the citizens of the city. That's paramount. Okay, this act shall take effect and be enforced from and after its passage. Alrighty, so here we go. Let's keep going. Then on April 27th, because the city understandably is worried they'll be left holding the bag. And remember, one of the options is they are a pass-through entity, which means they don't put money up front. They are basically guardian, making sure that everything is going where it's supposed to go. And then when we submit an invoice from our contractor, and the contractor normally it's just like for this, and I think the city finally realizes this, that it's done in portions, like 25%, 25%, 25%, 25%. When that first quarter is done and invoiced, we would pay it. We would give the invoice to the Bay St. Louis. They would submit it to MEMA. MEMA would pay us back through the city, being the keeper of the gate as pass-through entity. And then they would also inspect to make sure that that first quarter of the job is done properly and up to code. They do have to do that. So Clayton French, who was one of the head guys at MEMA, he sent this to Representative Tim Ladner. Now, Clayton, don't bite. I know I've talked with you a couple of times. I'd like to be able to talk to you again. It would be good to clear the air and us all get on the same page. So if I give you a call or an email, it'd be nice if you could respond to me. Thank you. And I do appreciate you. All right. So it says from Clayton French, says Representative Ladner, my pledge, here it is. See it? Screenshot. My pledge to BSL is that should the city go forward with the grant, and I'm going to say when the city goes forward with the grant. I don't speak into the negative, but he said that and I understand why. MEMA will be expeditious with reimbursement from FEMA. And then he says, I have FEMA's pledge to also expedite their review and release of funds. Unless there is a significant storm going on, I would anticipate that a review of the project and release of reimbursement funds should happen within a few months of project completion and documentation submitted. Now, I know this doesn't talk about the 25%, 25%, 25%, 25%, but I have spoken with contractors, one that I'm praying will do our job, and they've done several houses with the Swift Current Initiative, and they do it in quarter bites like that, okay? So with this pledge, once again, the city being the pass-through entity, they are not having to cough up the money. We are, and then we get reimbursed. Okay, so there's that. And then the piece de la resistance, say it like that. House bill, here we go. Folks, look. House bill 4129. House Bill 4129. Yay! Representative Tim Ladner. Look at here. It was approved by the governor. So here are the dates. Tim got this fleshed out. It hit April 26th. Title stuff due pass. What that means, I don't know. April 27th. On May 1st with the House, it passed with the vote. May 1st, House immediate release. May 1st, transmitted to the Senate. May 1st, referred to local and private, meaning, I'm sure, Bay St. Louis, because this is a local and private bill. May 1st, title stuff due pass. May 2nd, it passed with the vote. May 3rd, it returned for enrolling. May 6th was my birthday. May 6th, it enrolled the bill signed. And on for the House, it enrolled the bill signed. On May 6th, it enrolled the bill signed with the Senate. And drum roll, please. May 13th, yesterday, folks, look at there. Approved by the governor. See that? Yay! So all trains are moving in the right direction. It says House Committee, Local and Private Legislation, Senate Committee, Local and Private, Principal Author, Tim Ladner. Title, an act to authorize the governing authorities of the city of Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, to utilize certain federal funds awarded by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, to assist with flood mitigation within the city and for related purposes. Y'all, you know what? Part of the description for Jesus that the government is on his shoulders. And it also says when the people are ruled by righteous, they thrive. When they're ruled by negligent or corrupt, they groan. So I'm going to be thriving and rejoicing, not only for me, because we got some good people backing us, and I know everybody's just going to want this to happen, because how could you not want it for other families, right? How could you not want to make this happen? I mean, that's your job. We're your constituents, and you're supposed to look out for us. So anyway, I'm excited. I will keep you updated. Once again, if you can make this, like I said, we can't be there, but I'm printing out all kinds of goodies to be handed out to my councilman there, but I have to be out on family business next week, but I promise you I'll be following up. So anyway, folks, that's it. I know I ran a little overtime, but there was just a lot, and I wanted to catch up. And forgive me for all of my allergies making me hoop and cough. I do apologize for that, but I just didn't want to start the whole video over again. So I love you all. If y'all need to contact me, I'm going to put my contact in the description. You can email me and you can text me. And if you've been struggling with this as well and you want to know where to start, I will do my best to help you with that. So take care, and I will see y'all later. Bye.